My name is Gil Robertson. I'm president of the African American Film Critics Association, and we
Nice
welcome
to
you to
meet
this
you.
edition of AAFCA Roundtables. We're going to kick things off today by introducing you to the members who are on the call, beginning with our facilitator, Katia Woods in Philadelphia, Reggie Pounder in Chicago, Jonesy Brandon in Frankfurt, Germany, on a military base just outside of Frankfurt, Germany, I might add. Ruben Rigaud in South Florida in Miami, and Sharonda Williams in Atlanta. I am going to let you guys do what you do so well, and I'll see you on the other side.
So it's so interesting. Gil says that he really, really likes this show, and it catches you. It actually kind of throws you off guard a little bit with what this character does and who this character really is. When you were approaching being a part of this, did you think, this is a character that I like, this is a character that I can mold? What was your thinking in approaching this character?
So the thing that you have to, I have to tell the story first, that you will understand that Lupin, it is like a very, very known and famous character in France. He's part of the French literature. So we grew up with his stories, you know. So I read from him when I was a kid, and I saw a lot of movies. I saw the shows. So when I spoke with the production where we wanted to work on something, they asked me what would be my dream role, what would be the best what I can do in my life, and Lupin was the one, because he is everything. He is everything, and he is everybody. And it was very interesting for me to have a character like that, and he's the perfect role for an actor, and he has the potential to do everything, because you can be dramatic, you can have like romance, the adventure, and action, you know, everything. You can do everything with him. For an actor, he is the perfect tool. So I wanted a toy like that, you know, as an actor, and they offered me Lupin, because for me it's really a gift.
Wow, thank you so much, and you do such a great job with it.
Thank you.
Omar, Brandon Jones from LRM Online. How you doing?
How are you?
I'm doing all right. Thank you for asking. So the question I had for you was, I saw that George K has talked about a potential crossover with Sherlock, and I wanted to hear from you. One, is that something that you're interested in? And two, given that they're on opposite sides of the fence, one being on the side of the law and the other one being the gentleman burglar, how do you think that they would get along?
It's going to be interesting because again, when you refer to the books, you know, you have like that kind of rivalry. I don't know if I can say that. It's a proper word in English, but they can be rival, you know. British and French for a long time. You can, when you look back to it, so it's always been the same. You know, they're brothers, but at the same time, they're fighting all the time. So when you have a soccer game, like French, England's always something very, very important. So it always be something like that between French and Britain. So that's why Lupin was created, actually, because they had, you know, Sherlock Holmes, you know, in England, and one of the journal, I forgot the name of the journal, but they wanted something like Sherlock Holmes for France, and they created Lupin. So when you refer to the books, you can see that there is another character. It's called Sherlock Holmes, right, which is kind of Sherlock Holmes, to make fun of the Britain's, you know, series. So why not, you know, going back and refer to the book and trying to do something like that? Why not? It can be very interesting, and I think it's gonna expand the show, and that's what we want.
Okay. Thank you.
Hey, Omar, Katia Woods, couple social, bonjour, je suis heureux, c'est avec vous. But we're going to continue in English.
Merci beaucoup.
One of the things I like about Lupin is he's a thief, but he's a gentleman. He has a code. He's not someone who just wants to hurt people to hurt people. He wants to hurt people that deserve to be hurt. And it's also very, it's done intelligently. Is that something that was important to you, to the character, because he's not necessarily violent? everything he does is very calculated and smart.
Of course. That's why it's, I like I said, it's the perfect character for me, because you can have like sort of actions, you know, on the movie, but it's always been something that calculated, and when you can see technically the all the fights we have, it always something is moving, you know. He's using, you know, like, because I'm always referring to the books, because I was really a huge fan of Lupin as a kid. So Lupin, he was using the Aikido. Aikido is using, you know, your opponent force and to move forward. So when you see technically what he does, you know, on fights, it's what he does, you know, it's always moving forward. And we wanted to show watched by families. So we don't want to be violent. We don't want to curse, you know, we want like a family show, and we wanted Lupin being an example. Even if he's a thief, we want him to be, because that's his name, Lupin, le gentleman cambrioleur, is the gentleman thief. So because he's someone who's fighting the establishment, and that's why we love him. And so yeah, there is no violence, and he's smart, and it was very important for me to play a character like that, and having that kind of example for the young people, you know, especially for someone like me, you know, and to just, you know, continue to play with cliches, you know, and turn them around.
Hi, Omar. I'm Ruben Rigo from Miami, the Dominican Republic. And my question is like an extension from Katya's question. What do you think that we have so much fascination for these characters? Because they're criminal at the end. But we as an audience, we love seeing these characters having success in the things they do, like Lupin. Like, I was rooting for the character to have success in everything, but the guy was stealing. So why do you think that we as an audience, we have this fascination for all these bad guys, like Joker, like, I don't know, like all these bad guys, they always, we pray and we want to success, even though we know they're doing the bad thing?
I think for the bad guys and characters, I think like Joker or something like that, it's just, you want to see something. I think for me, the fantasy that brings that, you want to see something, you want to experience something that you will never do in your life. So stealing or doing big heists like that is something you will never do in your life, but in a way you want to experience it, you know, without consequences, you know, you see what I mean? So I think that's why sometimes, you know, people want to see that, you know, for most of the people, you know, I mean, so, and for Lupin, I think, because like I just said, he fights the establishments. So I think we all, especially today, you know, what's going on in the world, I think we want to see someone like that who fights, you know, the big, you know, establishment is something that we want to see, because we're feeling that the oppression of all of that. So that would be the two reasons I can see for that.
Hi, Omar. Sharonda Williams from Pay Your Weight.
Hi.
My question for you is, I want to ask you about Assange's journey, where we find him at the end of part 2, because it seems as though that Assange doesn't really get to relish in that moment, as it doesn't feel like the experience that we have been really leading up to at the end of part 2. And I wanted to ask you, do you feel as though Assange, if he could go back and do it all over again, do you think that he will make the same choices knowing the ramifications of what has happened?
No, absolutely not. And that's why it's very interesting, because like we just said, he's a hero, he's a charming and loving character, but at the same time he's a thief, and he does bad choices, and it's, you cannot be completely free and having a simple life when you do something like that. And that's why we put him in the situation at the end. He cannot completely win. It's not, because like we said, it's a family program, and we want people to see that, and we don't want to show that to the kids, that you can steal and have like a perfect life. So we are very careful at what we show at the same time. So of course, Hassan is not completely free, and he didn't solve his problem, and it, at the same time, it gives us more to tell.
There's not a lot of this in this show, but you do touch a little bit on racism in the show. What was the purpose, or where did you see that going, and why was it presented in the show?
So the purpose is just when we have the occasion to talk about stuff like that, we do, because it's, you know, as an artist, you always want to be a part of something that you can say something that means a lot for you, right? So, but we wanted to have that and not being judgmental and having a different way to talk about it, because I think the best way to move forward is having, even if we say same things all along, because things still have to change, you need maybe having a different way to say it, and to show that even if it's not changing on the right timing, it will still have a lot to change. We'll still have like tiny changes that we have to, you know, consider and show that we're moving forward, you know, even if it's slow. So we wanted to talk about it in a different way, and I think using that, you know, for Hassan, and using that and play with it would be a very fun and very new way to talk about it. And so using that, the fact that the racism in France, that there can be, you know, that just people don't look at the people, or having that racism, it's also mixed with love, a kind of social aspect, you know, rich and poor, you know, but also the same feeling as a racism. We just faced in France the les gilets jaunes, the yellow jackets, that, you know, the poor people will be like demanded by other people. So all of that, you know, that's just we wanted to relate, you know, feelings, you know, racism and social discrimination is the same. So we just related those kind of bad behavior. I don't have the proper word for that, but just those feelings, you know, and just we wanted people that relate, you know, those discrimination, but at the same time just play with it, you know, that put it in a way that could be light and not like judgmental. Just make them understand, you know, and just pass. But I think the feeling stays, and because all the feedback I have from that, it's people just started to understand in a different way, and we were so proud for that, because yeah, it was part of the story, it was part of the experience, and it was playful. It was different, a different experience. So we were so happy for that.
Yeah, thank you for that, because I was really curious, given the fact that there are not a lot of Black lead characters in the film, but you guys did play with that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Omar, question for you about the fact that you get to play this character who is now on this much larger stage. What does it mean for you to be able to tell this immigrant story, given that that's something that you had in your own life?
It was, you know, it's something very natural for me. You know, it always, you know, something very interesting for me, because on the long way, you know, I do stuff and I see the impact at the end. But for me, something very organic, you know, it's just, I'm telling my story. I'm doing my journey, you know, with my dreams and my feelings. You know, I talk about the things that I'm very sensitive about. It's just doing my I'm doing my stuff, you know, and then you can see the impact, and I think it's good like that. You cannot, you know, do something like that if you think about it before doing it. I think you'll never do it, because it's a lot. It's bigger than you. So I'm just, you know, driving my car, you know, I'm just moving forward. I do my stuff like like I feel it, like I want to do it. You know, I say what I want to say, and it's just you know, it's not a big deal for me. You know, I just doing what I can do, and I was so happy to play Lupin. At the same time, I say what I want to say in it. I put the little stuff. I put stuff about, you know, my country, Senegal. I put some names, you know, Diop. It's a very, you know, famous name in Senegal. So it's just those list of things, you know, I can put along the way, and I see the impact. I'm very happy about that, but it's not me. I don't know how to say that properly. It's not really me. It's just I don't know how to say that. It's not me. It's just I don't know how to say that, but it's just small stuff that inspires me, you know, and part of my story, and that's it. And I just moving forward, just doing my stuff. You know, I don't know how to say that in English, but ça ne m'appartient pas. I don't know if someone speaks French here. Can help me on.
You're doing
Sorry?
your part. You're doing your part.
Yeah, I do my part, and I'm doing it, and it's a tiny thing, you know. It's a tiny thing, and the impact. It's not on me. The impact is not on me, you know. I just and you cannot think about that when you do stuff, you know, because you cannot be really sincere, and you cannot be, you know, really clear. I try to do things with the most honest, you know, the most sincere I can be, and that's it. That's my only responsibility.
I'm going to say this for you. Si vous ne savez pas en anglais, parlez en français. C'est très bien, nous traduisons. Okay?
Okay, merci.
My question for you is, representation is a huge thing, right? And it is not common, it's no commun to have a French Black man to play a lead, to not play a stereotype, to get to be adventurous, funny, because he's funny and charming. And at the same time, like you said, we're talking about an immigration issue, which is all part of what's going on in France. What do you hope for, not just for you, but do you hope that it opens up more opportunities for other Black people? You know, no matter if it's not Lupin, whatever story they want to tell, to be able to do it, to have the freedom that you're having with this character.
Of course. Every time when you do something, you hope that it's going to open, you know, minds, you know, and it will give more imagination to, you know, producers, you know, directors, writers, you know, just show that there is a lot of different stories that we can tell, and Black actors can tell different stories and can play different roles, and taking someone like Lupin, you know, was very, very interesting for me, because when Maurice Leblanc written Lupin, he was portrayed a French, the idyllic French for him, and we did it today, and we portrayed a idyllic French for us, which is Assanges. It shows how French changes, and how we can, you know, tell stories differently today. So it was really interesting for us to how can I say that, to show a different perspective and different faces.
The first time that I saw you on screen was in the movie Untouchables, 2013, with the character of Dries. I found that this character, Lupin and Dries, they have like certain similarities. What would you think is the biggest difference between this character that looks like Lupin but in a different atmosphere, and this new character with Lupin? Because I found that they come from the same background, they have the same charisma, just in different spots in the lifetime. How was creating a character like Dries and creating a character like Lupin?
For me, the only thing in common that they have is they are like immigrant descendant, and they grew up in France. But I don't think that Dries and Lupin are the same. So they just have that. I can say, I don't know if I can say vibes, that they that you have when you grew up, in La Banlieue. So maybe that's the thing that they have in common. That's that quick mind that you can have and play with words like that, and the funny and aspect of it, that I can give to them, because that's what I have from that. Maybe that's that they have in common.
Hi, Omar, Sharonda again. I just wanted you to leave us with, we've explored so much about his backstory and his connections to his father, but I want to know, what do you want to explore with the sign in future installments of Lupin?
In what, sorry?
What do you want to explore with the Sign's character in future installments of Lupin?
We'll see, but there's a lot to explore with him, because of the backstory, first of all, that we will tell. So that's why I don't want to share a lot with you guys, because I don't want to spoil, because we're going to use that, for the future. And also, like I said, being a thief is not easy, and we want to show the journey. How you want to, because Assange wants to be Lupin with his fantasy, but Lupin was a thief, and at the same time he wants to be a father, and he wants to be a husband. So it's really difficult to be both at the same time. So what's going to be the journey, and at the end he will have to make a choice about it. So we're gonna play with that in the future, maybe, and that's only what I can say, because I don't want to say too much.
Omar, thank you so much for your time today.
Pleasure.
And congratulations in advance. Lupin is selected as our favorite international production for our upcoming TV honors. We'll talk about that a little later, though.
Yeah, thank you so much. Excuse my face, because I'm still jet lagged and I just woke up. I'm so sorry for that.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Again, thank you. And on behalf of the world's largest group of Black critics, thank you for watching this episode of AAFCA Roundtables. Have a great day.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Omar. It was a great job, man.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.